Welcome to the channel and welcome to the video. Today I'm going to be going through my top 5 alternate investments for 2022. Not at all a mouthful.
That's what she said.
If you're looking for some investments outside of the general stock market, stay tuned and I will go through my 5 top different apps or websites or companies that offer alternative investments that I really find very attractive. Everyone knows the stock market has been a bit up and down, with the emphasis on the down, I should say, this year. Not exactly been a great start, and the words recession obviously get bounded around a lot this year. So many people have been looking for more, or I should say less shit investments, or investments that hedge against the stock market in a bit of a better way. Then there are 5 that I really would recommend. So number 1, I'm going to start with art. Now, art has historically hedged itself nicely against the stock market, and it doesn't tend to follow the same sorts of trends as stocks do. Firstly, again, all of these things have one thing in common. They're tangible assets. They are an actual thing, and I think that generally just makes things a lot easier to hedge against the stock market. And so art is a very good way to invest and be able to continue to get decent and reliable returns no matter what the market is saying. Traditionally, if you wanted to invest in art, you would have to be kind of knowledgeable in this area, really. You'd have to know what you were talking about, and you would have to have
money.
Kind of quite a lot of money, but no longer is that the case. Thanks to masterworks.io, and I'll put all of these links in the description, no worries, you can partially invest in many different types of art. They've previously had on their Banksys, you can get Picassos, all different types that offer great returns. And I'll put a snapshot on the screen, so at the moment you can see the things that they've got on offer right this second. But again, you can see the returns they're offering and everything. So art for me is a great one to hedge against the stock market, and it's a great alternative investment that I am looking to invest in myself. I don't personally have anything invested in masterworks.io currently, but I do plan on putting some stuff in there in the future. Another interesting thing with masterworks.io is they have a secondary market as well, so you can buy shares in a particular piece, and then if you want to liquidate those on or sell those on an open market from a secondary market, you can do that as well, so you don't have to hold them forevermore. You can then offer them to sell afterwards. And again, the returns are fairly decent on these as well. I'd say they're pretty decent. You get up to 20% return per annum, which is actually very good
Money, 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 money,
compared to the stock market these days anyway. Now on to number 2, and we have watches, and I am a big watch fan. If you've seen my previous video on Konvi, Konvi are one of the only places, in fact the only place that I could find that offer the ability to invest partially in rare and collectible watches. Now sure, you could go out and personally start collecting watches yourself. You could go out and buy Rolexes, stuff like that, and they do actually hold their value and increase in value extremely well. But again, you would then have to know exactly what you're looking for, and it takes quite a bit of an effort to get to that level of understanding. And again, there's huge risk within that for yourself too. So Konvi for me, I will also put these links in the description, are the only place I could find that offered the ability to invest in rare collectible watches and offer decent returns as well. And if you sign up with my link as well, you will get £10, $10, 10 monies off your first investment too. So link in the description for that one. The great thing is as well, you can invest in watches that are $150,000, $250,000 watches, one of 50 pieces, so actual rare collectible watches, and you only have to invest from $250, so it makes it a lot more accessible. The only other place out there that I could find was MotaFund, and coincidentally that's who Konvi use as their back-end partner to fulfill these things. Konvi is the front end on doing, and you can see all of this in my video, and the link will be in the description, or I'll put a link up here somewhere. But it means that you don't have to lump up that amount of money to start. You don't have to pay the $250,000 it would take for most people these days to be able to invest in these fine watches. So it takes the risk out of it, smaller upfront investments, and they still show potential of around, again, 20% return per annum, which is really fantastic. On to number 3, we have property, and property is one of those that has actually these days quite a number of different options. I've previously done a video on stake, again, link in the description. If you sign up to stake using my link, you will get about $70 off your first investment, which is an actual mass bonus.
I deserve free money!
And so they specialize in properties in Dubai, so you can partially invest from as little as I think about $200. So if you get $70 back, it's $130 that you can own a part of a property in Dubai. I do invest in this myself, so I have partially invested in 5 different apartments in Dubai. There is a link in the description for my video on stake too. Stake is available all around the world too. I'm not based in the Middle East in Dubai, but I am able to invest in them. You can invest in America, you can invest all around the world. So that's one of the benefits of those as well, which takes me on to my second one of properties, which is Diversyfund. And Diversyfund is an American-based company, something that I can't use because I'm not based there. But check out, I put again a link for Diversyfund. I don't have a link with any discounts or anything, but Diversyfund is another one where you can invest in properties on a partial sense, which again makes it much easier to be able to invest with lower amounts of money, takes the risk away, easy, we like it. And lastly, with properties, we have DFY Real Estate, also very, very good. One, again, I can't use because I'm not based in the States, and I'm trying to find ways to make that happen because I really like the things that they're offering. For the most part with property, most people would go out and buy them themselves and put in all of the legwork and take all of that risk, but this is where these sorts of companies make it really easy because yes, they charge a small fee for that, but it takes out all of that work for you. You pay that money, they invest it for you, they get the properties, they rent the properties, they look after everything you need to, and you get the returns back, which is perfect for people like me that could never cope with that sort of effort.
That's a lot of work.
On top of that, obviously, property increases in value, so you have that side of things. You also have the rental yield. So it's a very good way of making money back, and it's a good way to diversify your portfolio. So that is property. On to number 4, and another one of my favorites, and that would be wine.
Wine?
You can see why it's a favorite, because it's wine, and why wouldn't I like wine?
Wine.
You can invest in wine using Konvi, but I have actually found another company that specializes just in wine itself, and they're becoming absolute experts in this field, and that's a company called Vint. Now, I spoke to Vint and I really like the way that they're structuring things. They've built a complete wine team. They don't have partners like Konvi do. So Konvi has partners, they play the application interface, which is great, which is fine. I really like that model. But when it comes to wine, being specialized within that field, understanding when they need to buy and sell it, etc., the best vintages, what to pick up, what will be the best thing to invest in, which collections to offer to individuals, these guys are becoming experts themselves. So no other partners, they are the ones that are doing it for you. Now, I think that is absolutely fantastic. I really appreciate what they're building. I'm actually going to do a video on Vint completely, so a full deep dive into their product. But check out again my link in the description, and I will get you a discount on the signing up to Vint. Perfect. You can invest from as little as I think $50 to $100 per share of a collection, and they offer returns of around, again, 20% per year, which is an absolutely stonking return. So all of these are offering some really decent returns, and being able to diversify your portfolio in this sort of way, I think, is a really interesting option. So check out Vint in the link in the description below. And finally, number 5, we have one that probably isn't touched on that often, and full disclosure, I am involved within this potential venture. So it isn't live yet, but it's a company called MotaFund, and that is investing in cars. As we have spoken about all of these different types of assets, we've got property, art, wine, watches, and now cars. And so all of these, aside from property, are more scarce items. So watches, they only produce a certain number. Wine, they only produce a certain number, and a lot of people drink it, so it's diminishing as that goes on with its life. And the same with cars. When it comes to certain cars, there are only obviously a certain amount produced as the time goes on, and they're getting older and older. there are fewer and fewer still around, especially in great condition. So MotaFund offers the ability to, much like Konvi, much like all these other ones, be able to partially invest in rare and fine cars.
You like cars? Yeah, I like cars.
So they do the purchasing for you, look after all of the stuff on the back end, and you get to own a piece of rare car history. Imagine being able to say that you own a piece of a Ferrari F40, for example. I think that's pretty cool. Again, they're not live yet, so if you check out their site, motafund.com, link in the description, the more people that do sign up, the quicker they will be able to release and get to market. So sign up in the link in the description for MotaFund.
You can do it! You can do it! You can! You can!
Like I said, all these things have in common a tangible asset, so this is why I think they hedge quite nicely against the stock market. I do obviously have my investments across things like crypto and stocks and shares, and even my stocks and shares are broken down as well, but I do assign a certain portion of my investments every month to different sorts of investments, my alternative investments as I class them, and so I think they're a really nice way of, again, just diversifying your portfolio and adding a little bit of extra stability there. And I really like these different classes of investment and different types of vehicles that you can use. So for me, I think they're really, really attractive. I'd love to hear if you've found any other sorts of different alternative investments that you think are really attractive. These are my top 5, but drop me a comment and let me know of other ones that you have found that are interesting as well. If this is the sort of thing that you enjoy, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for other things coming up like this, and stay tuned for the next video. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.